Hello and welcome to this video entitled How to Change Your Past for a Happier Present and a Brighter Future. For most of us, the fears, emotions, and attitudes caused by the past influence our every mood and decision, and not often for the better. We can change our past by getting over these encumbrances. When we succeed at this, it gives us a huge leg up in our current life. Doing this is simpler than you might think, and thank goodness it doesn't require a time machine. I'd like to read to you a short but revealing passage from the Shariat Ki Sugmad, the sacred scriptures of Eckankar. This video is not sponsored by Eckankar, but for more information, just click the link to Eckankar's official website below. I've also included all the other links you'll need for the information described in this video. At the website, you'll find a treasure trove of spiritual material you won't find anywhere else. You can also purchase a copy of the Shariat for your very own. I don't think you'll be disappointed with the enlightening wisdom that it contains. Here's the passage from Book 2, page 201. If the individual man will keep up the spiritual exercises of Ek, it's found that this process of spiritual growth is repeated and experienced in him. It does not only mean that the individual will become the connecting link between the past, the present, and the future, but that his past will become revitalized and the present rejuvenated in his experiences. It also transforms itself into the creative process of the future. In this way, history is reshaped for the individual into his present life and becomes a part of his own being. It is not merely an object of learning and veneration from some past mistake which creates guilt patterns and heavy karma, but with the help of the Mahanta, the living Ek Master, the original causes are easily transformed into a pattern of life and sound and become essential to that individual. There's much to discuss in this passage, but the main thing is that it reveals the secret of how one's past can be changed for the better. It is done through the two ways that it mentions. First, through the spiritual exercises of Ek, and second, with the help of the Mahanta, the living Ek Master. Ek is another word for the Holy Spirit, the divine essence of God. The living Ek Master is the spiritual leader of Eckankar who gives out the teachings of Ek, through the talks he gives publicly and through his books. The Mahanta is his inner side, or the inner master. The spiritual exercises are contemplative techniques you can use to come into contact with the divine, which often takes the form of the inner master, who gives help and instruction. This can happen in your dreams, or by soul travel, a means of consciously leaving your physical body for other places. All things have just cause. All the problems we have are of our own making. We have them by choice. Deep-rooted problems have deep roots that have taken hold from our distant past, from our past lives, when we caused them. The inner master can take you down the time track on the causal plane to a past life affecting your current situation, if it will help you spiritually. The time track is where you can travel to the past or future. If you're familiar with the astral plane, you know it exists just beyond the physical plane at a much higher atomic frequency. The causal plane is just beyond the astral plane at an even higher frequency. In the Bible, St. Paul called this region the third heaven. The causal plane is the region of root causes for everything. It contains a vast storage area of all that has happened and is yet to happen, with every possible scenario. If you have a fear of water, for example, it's quite probable it was caused by having been drowned in a previous lifetime. People with this problem have been taken by the inner master to face that drowning experience in a very gentle way. They learned there was really nothing to fear. They just saw themselves joyously released from their bodies for a happy reunion with loved ones in the afterlife. As a result, they lost their fear of death. With no more fear of death, they also lost their fear of water. In so simple a way, they changed their past. The fear from the past, which had such a hold on them, is now gone, like it had never happened. This immediately changed their current life immensely for the better, and the door to a much brighter future was opened. Like the Chariot says, their past has become revitalized, their present rejuvenated, and their future transformed. After a number of journeys to the causal plane, one can become adept enough to go there on his own and conduct his own intriguing spiritual research. You get to see what really happened, and it sometimes runs surprisingly counter to what you may have been taught in school. Personally, I have visited the causal plane countless times and seen many of my past lives going back many thousands of years, all leading up to the appalling creature you see before you here today. Seeing these past lives helped me overcome the fears and the attitudes that caused the problems I've encountered in my current lifetime. Some of my lives were gentle times, some were high adventure, and some were truly horrific. Most, however, were just all about trying to survive day to day. If you're hoping you are some great figure of history, well, there are just far too few of them to go around all 8 billion other people in the world today. Sorry to let you down. I hope this doesn't dampen your enthusiasm, because there's really far more interesting stuff for you to learn about yourself. For instance, you may find, as I have, that you were involved in many deeply historical movements that may or may not be recorded by history. This is far more important than being a king or queen. Also, consider the fact that right now, in this lifetime, you are the greatest that you have ever been, greater even than that time when you were a king or queen. Although our past lives tend to be a steady grind of hard and bitter lessons, each of them was a precious stepping stone to greater wisdom, freedom, love, and compassion. I've also seen different versions of the future, depending on my present choices. I saw that if I adopted a particular discipline, I'd have a much brighter future than if I didn't. The causal plane is also a storehouse of all manner of incredible technological inventions and scientific ideas, not yet conceived in our current world. A gifted person who can see them is in a position to bless the world. As you can see, being able to explore your way around the causal plane has distinct benefits. So how do you begin exploring your past and possible futures? Let me tell you. It's through the amazing spiritual exercises of Eck. They're amazing because they're simple, they're easy, and they work. Simple means they're not complicated, and easy means they're not hard to do. And when I say they work, I mean they work if you do them. By doing them, I mean doing them with loving, wholehearted consistency. Once isn't likely to cut it. Neither will sporadic, half-hearted attempts. Do them at the same time and place every day without fail. That way you won't fail. Also, let go of any preconceived notions of what should happen. Whatever happens is what you're ready for. Once you make contact with the divine in some way, such as through a dream, you've succeeded in a significant way. And more success will build on this achievement, however small it may seem. Here's a spiritual exercise that can get you to the causal plane. It's taken from another book you can get from Eckankar called The Spiritual Exercises of Eck by Harold Klemp, the spiritual leader of Eckankar. It describes over 130 different fascinating spiritual exercises, all of which you can adapt any way you like for your own use. Our exercise today is on page 37. It involves the word Hu, an ancient holy name of God, and a love song to God, which I've explained in another video. As I've described, the causal plane is the third plane up from the physical plane, so this is called the Formula 3 technique. The formula is to sing the word Hu 3 times, and then breathe silently 3 times. Hu is sung with a deep breath like this. Hu. So do that 3 times, and then take 3 silent breaths. And then repeat the cycle. Keep this up for 15 minutes before bed, or whenever you'd like to have your quiet time. Lightly keep in mind your desire to see a past life. Here's a tip from the book. Keep a dream journal. Note in it that you're trying the Formula 3 technique. And later, write down what happened. With that, dear friends, I hope I've given you just a smidgen of an idea of what's possible for you if you just make the effort. Thank you for watching.